how to innovate for growth even if you're not in a product-based business. Most leaders like you miss out on the growth results that you deserve. And not breaking through that ceiling is going to cost you financially and emotionally. And the most significant part in business that's overlooked for growth innovation is processes. Yes, the humble process. Now, whether or not it's not knowing how to modernize, automate, or leverage a process, I'm sure we can all agree that the precious time that you spend should be profitable, not risky. And the good news is that any leader can find business growth by using business growth innovation processes. Why? Well, it reveals all of the hidden areas to achieve your growth, even if you don't have a physical product to innovate on. I want to share a story about a woman, we'll call her Lisa. Now, Lisa was one of my Reinvention Club mentoring clients, and Lisa was in a very challenging role. She'd recently become the Innovation and Knowledge Manager for a mid-tiered legal firm. Now, the company was very successful, but they wanted to improve their results even more, but without spending much cash. Now, Lisa had a number of big hurdles in her new role. First off, she wasn't a lawyer, so that was going to create some challenges. And second, she was new to the world of leading innovation, which is kind of why she'd sought out some of my help. Now, the firm's partners were at a total capacity already, and they were a bit cranky at having to work so hard. Now, they wanted growth without too much work. So this meant that simply hiring new staff would not bring them the easy profits. Now, with a little bit of encouragement from me, Lisa organised a short idea generation sessions with her partners over lunch. Now, it was a short session because the partners were time poor and over lunch, so they wouldn't feel as if they were wasting any time. But before Lisa's session, I helped her develop a session that would get them to focus on their ideas for process innovation for growth, not different other areas of the business. Now, a common undercapitalized area for business growth is processes. And it's no wonder when you think that a more significant proportion of the valuation of a company comes from the quality of processes that the organization has in place. Now, usually I would get my clients to look at improving existing processes as a starting point, but still in this instance, Lisa really needed to get some quick runs on the board. So, first, I taught her how to create a safe space for her partners to share ideas. Then, most importantly, I shared some prompting questions that would get the money-making ideas happening. And this was the important part. So here's what happened after she framed up the session and got stuck into some of the prompts. Now, knowing that the partners were very time poor, Lisa asked something along the lines of, are there any existing processes that we've created and that we're using that go well that we could maybe leverage somewhere else? And one of the other partners said, well, do you mean to use one of these processes in another department? And she said, yeah, but she knew she needed to push it a little bit further. That's one possibility. What if we're a little bit more daring than that? Could we leverage one of our processes with a competitor? Ooh, now you can imagine right now, this is when the partners start to get a little bit aggro. That's crazy, why would we want to give our competitors our IP and stuff like that? Now, I'd prepped Lisa up with the usual pushback objections that she would expect. So she was a bit more confident handling this. And she said, are all legal firms competitors to us? And that made them think. One of the responses was something like, well, just the legal firms with 100 to 300 employees, because that was about the size of their business. So here, Lisa had a very good chance. And she asked something along the lines of, so might there be some processes and IP that we know are great that we could white label and sell to smaller firms that they could use as an offering for themselves? And that's when the partners started to get excited. What about our succession IP? When someone's sort of selling up their business. I mean, that works amazingly well, and I'm sure there's hundreds, if not thousands of firms that would love to be able to offer that offering to their clients. As you can imagine, the rest of the session was a success. The decision to continue the growth hacking innovation became a no-brainer because it wouldn't take any effort really to white label the IP process. The marketing team could handle the sales directly to all of those small legal firms. So really what happened there was minimal effort, rapid return, and low risk. So let's unpack what happened with Lisa's process innovation for growth session. So it started off by Lisa prompting the partners to just start thinking about their existing processes. Often we never think that far because we're just so busy doing the work. And then Lisa started to push a little bit more. She got them to think of how a process could be leveraged not just internally in a different department or section, but potentially externally. And with Lisa's facilitation, they realised that not everyone in their industry is a competitor and could therefore maybe become a customer. And the firm's IP, their intellectual property, which could be either a method or a process, could be licensed annually for income without competing against its own market. So the key prompt that Lisa learnt from me and applied to get them thinking outside of the box and into the world of business growth was, what can we leverage elsewhere? And as successful as this prompt was for innovating around a process, it can easily be applied to a physical product or a service experience. For example, could I leverage one of my components of this product in someone else's products? Okay, now it's your turn to step up your innovation leadership. Step one, I want you to pick a process where you can think of some innovation results that you want to improve. Say, for example, sales and marketing. Maybe, how you go about marketing, promoting or selling, distributing the product or service you do. Maybe it's something in operations and support, which might be the processes you go through to build a product or service that you offer and the support that you might require. Could be around people and culture, the rituals and activities to create a thriving culture. Maybe it's in innovation and technology. It might be customer-centric insights that you want to generate, or more ideas or prototyping around technology. Or maybe you just want to work around the business model and strategy. So whatever it might be, or maybe it's delivery and distribution as well. So now it's for step two. Work out which questions you want to ask to prompt the growth ideas. For example, what could you leverage? What process step or activities or components could you leverage elsewhere, whether it's internally or externally? You might ask, is it possible to use your special technique with another part of the business? Or you might ask the question, could you leverage your expertise elsewhere? All right, step three, plan and invite people to a growth innovation session and use those prompting questions to get the growth building ideas. That's it. It's really not that hard. So now you know a battle-tested, proven business growth innovation technique that you can go and apply to your organisation today. Oh, by the way, did you know that we actually have a membership program that gives you access to a complete in-depth growth innovation technique? Well, it's got all kinds of very in-depth, step-by-step videos and flowcharts on how to get your innovation happening. So if you want to check it out, please check out thereinventionclub.com to become that go-to person for creating business growth at minimal risk and minimal effort. So I'd love to know how you went with this tool. Please email me or message me with your success stories. And just remember, I'm here to help. And if you love this, please subscribe so you can find out more the next time we send out a session. Catch you later.